Welcome back to the DT Podcast. I'm Alex Furches. This episode will be brief, just like what it shows. It's the second episode entitled Adventures in Synergy. And again, I'll be exploring the limits of what we can do with Flash using working memory optimization with WeMind. So if you haven't seen the previous one, take a look at that first. And if you're listening in, switch over to YouTube so that you can actually see the video. So what we'll be doing here is showing that you can do Flash with something really freaking complex in 10 seconds, saying Flash once. And since then, we found you don't need to say Flash. So this video is pretty old now, and there's been a lot more cool stuff happening, and hopefully we'll come to that. Danielle and I are actually planning to do an entire episode where all we do is just discuss that. So I'm going to keep the clinical considerations at the end of this pretty brief too. Just a word, of course, that all privacy considerations and permissions have been taken care of with the participant here. And it's worth noting that this memory was chosen by the participant because it caused a massive panic attack 3 days prior to treatment. Now, treatment, SUD 0, and inability for this to be triggered remains stable 2 months later. Again, this is kind of old. So take a look.
All right, so today we've decided to flash the memory of your mother burning your pictures when she was angry with you when you were young. And you had said that was disturbing at a 9 out of 10, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So I'd like for you just to select that memory and now unselect it because we're going to do something different. We're going to play some computer games here. So you know what to do. And when I say flash, just blink your eyes 3 times. Flash. Great. Okay. So I'd just like for you to briefly check in with that memory that you picked and tell me if you notice anything, how disturbing it is on a scale of 0 to 10.
I'd probably say maybe like a 5. Like it still bothers me, but not as bad.
Okay, we'll just put that to the side and let's play some more video games.
Okay.
Flash. Okay. All right, I'd like to pause and let's check in with that memory again. And I'd like for you to tell me how disturbing it feels to you now on a scale of 0 to 10.
Like a 4.
Okay, let's just put that to the side and we'll play this some more.
Okay.
Flash. Okay, so again, you know the drill. Let's just check in on that memory one more time and see how disturbing it feels to you now on a scale of 0 to 10.
Like a 2, 3.
All right. Okay, well, let's just put that to the side again and keep going. Here we go. Little red ball. Flash. Great. Okay, so let's put that to the side. I'd like for you to check in on this memory again and see how disturbing it feels to you on a scale of 0 to 10.
I I don't know if it's a 0 or 1. Like it's there, but it's not bothering me.
Okay, well, let's just put that to the side and go. Flash. All right, well, let's check in again and see how disturbing this memory is to you on a scale of 0 to 10.
I mean, it's there, so I guess it's just a 0. Like it's just there.
What tells you that it's a 0?
not upset about it anymore. I guess I'm not disturbed. Like I don't feel like a little child anymore. Like I feel like I have control of the situation now.
Cool. Well, thanks for helping me out. And awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right. So that's pretty cool. In any case, some brief clinical considerations. First, Danielle and I are, of course, more interested in the theory behind this and putting this to use with very complex cases, which you can do. Not exactly like this, but in really strange ways, utilizing the fundamental dissociation of trauma time, real time, as the that wall against the traumatic memory itself. So stay tuned for that discussion. And for now, what we've got going on is a video where the slider doesn't go up when the SUD goes down. Now, there's a guy writing a dissertation on WeMind, used with EMDR, of course, in the Netherlands, where he's speaking about that exact same thing happening with EMDR. Because, of course, if you're spending less uh, energy holding off disturbing material, then you have more mental capacity to do the tasks with WeMind, with the ball bouncing around and the sound going off. So when clients are checking in with Flash, why is working memory not more available, apparently? Well, immediate answer might be that perhaps the slider going up is just one indicator of SUD going down, but may not be a necessary indicator. Perhaps because Flash is operating from a state of hypoarousal, whereas EMDR is operating from a state of hyperarousal. Of course, not overload of hyperarousal with standard protocol EMDR, but with EMDR 2.0, certainly so, with enough working memory taxation that the client doesn't enter a state of panic, but rather heals very quickly because of optimization of working memory taxation. Now, with Flash, you're intentionally inducing a phobic reaction. So the slider may not need to go up because, well, you're not holding anything off, right? Um, Furthermore, that may imply in certain ways, especially because you can do this and the SUD will go down without saying Flash, although not as fast, and it won't work with stuff that's as complex. May imply that that saying Flash and blinking is actually another working memory task, as opposed to something that in itself, allows a traumatic memory to slip through and obtain the orienting response, right? Like some subliminal exposure, which is the existing theory about Flash, but rather working on the same principle as EMDR, with what Dr. Paulson described. Well, it's John Watkins' example of the tuna processing plant, where you kind of optimize the tuna processing plant and it turns tuna in the boat to tuna in the can. So, in other words, EMDR and Flash, that would support that they're working on the same principle, only one from a state of hypoarousal, Flash, and one from working from a state of hyperarousal, EMDR, which is something that would be supported by the slider not going up. So again, more considerations later. The big thing is Danielle and I kind of have agreed that we've sort of taken these things as far as they can go. And we're going to get back to more psychodynamic stuff um, in future episodes after this. There are two more episodes that are going to feature a conversation with Sonder. Those are really neat because they get more into ethical considerations of using AI and really nothing about WeMind. The last episode, the fourth one, is probably the most fun I've had on this show because we get into whether AI can feel pain or not, and if so, how are you going to deal with attachment stuff in any uh, real authentic way at all. So check that out for sure. And as always, our opening and closing music is provided by the Van Crack Machine in support of increased global access to trauma therapy worldwide. See ya.